All right, guys, welcome back to another video. If you are new here and you like what you see throughout this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But let's talk about Xbox Game Pass. Xbox Game Pass, we know, is a very successful service, but the last official number we've received in terms of how many subscribers there are is 25 million. I believe that was back in January or so. It's been a while since we've heard how many subscribers Game Pass actually has, and there's been a lot of changes since we've heard about the last official number of 25 million, from huge games dropping onto the service with Starfield just releasing, to Xbox Game Pass Core turning into Xbox Game Pass, meaning that the Xbox Live numbers are going to now feed into the overall subscribers. And people are wondering, how many official subscribers are there to the service? And you could assume that it is probably well over 25 million now, again, with all the things that have occurred. Well, we got maybe a hint at where they are, at least temporarily, before they make their official announcement. I'm guessing they're going to come out with the official announcement once the number is massive, once they've taken into account all of the Xbox Game Pass Core members and put it into the overall number, because that's one of the major reasons I think they're going with transferring Xbox Live Gold to Xbox Game Pass Core, is simply for the fact that they can start using these numbers in their financial reports, and that's going to be very positive, reporting just the huge growth of Game Pass subscribers to investors. But we got a hint here, and this is from Craig McNary, that has actually gone back and changed his number. But previously on LinkedIn, he had put, so I guess this was either by accident or he was mistaken. My guess is that he knows this is the number. He put it out there and then realized he probably wasn't supposed to put that number out there. But on his LinkedIn profile, he put that Game Pass had officially crossed the 30 million mark. And this has people talking as to whether Xbox is going to come out and make an official announcement as to where the service is. Now, he did go back. There's an update here. It says, update, the LinkedIn profile in question removed the references to the 30 million milestone. Microsoft reiterated to us in a statement that 25 million remains the last official milestone. And of course, they're not going to come out and tell everybody what the milestone currently is. It's going to be coming out in a big announcement, a big Xbox Wire announcement, maybe at a showcase or something along those lines. And they're going to try to make a big deal out of it, because the next number is going to be significantly more than 25 million. Just if you logically, again, think about the Xbox Game Pass Core numbers feeding in to the overall Game Pass subscriber numbers. And it's a smart business move doing that. You think this is what PlayStation does as well with their PlayStation Plus Essential, which was essentially just their PS Plus regular members before they made that switch to the new subscription service, people who are just paying to play online and then getting those monthly games. So we don't know yet. There's no official announcement, but I think it's pretty safe to assume that the number is far more than 25 million. What will be very interesting to see, and they probably won't ever break it down like this, and I wish they would, it would be like kind of showing what a game like Starfield has done to help grow this service, and just the overall effect of Starfield on the Xbox ecosystem, because we know the amount of people that are playing that game. It's helped sell consoles. It's helped at least give it a boost in the overall sales of consoles. And I'm sure there are tons of people who have literally just signed up to Game Pass either for the first time or resubscribed to the service to play the game. Now, here is the link to profile too, if anybody's interested. This is the guy who is the senior director of platform and brand marketing at Xbox, previously was the director of integrated marketing. Now let's talk about a couple of hires that Xbox has made over the weekend, or at least they've been found out over the weekend. They've some pretty notable ones here. We have Joshua Epel, who is a senior combat designer, and he's joined Arcane Studios, and it was former game designer at Insomniac Games, Airship Syndicate, and Intrepid Studios. Insomniac Games, I mean, they have great combat in their games with the Spider-Man stuff. They're coming out with Spider-Man 2. We've seen some more previews of that game in the state of play, and I'm not gonna lie, the game looks phenomenal. I liked the first one a lot. I love Insomniac Games. Out of all the PlayStation studios, if there's one studio that I would choose and I could only play those games, it would be Insomniac, just because I find that they have a lot more gameplay in their games compared to other Sony games, and their gameplay is just overall more fun than the more general cinematic, slower experiences from first-party PlayStation games. You think about like The Last of Us and even God of War. God of War is a little bit faster, but it's definitely heavier and slow, and there's just so many cinematics in it. I enjoyed God of War, but I like what Insomniac does with the Ratchet and Clanks and their Spider-Mans. I'm actually looking forward to Wolverine. So it's cool to get a guy from there and see how he brings over his combat experience to Arcane. We know Arcane is going to be working on some new stuff after the failure of Redfall, Arcane Austin in particular. And they're also trying to make Redfall better to get people to go and continue to play it. In fact, Pete Hines recently just came out in interviews that he was doing when speaking about Starfield and saying that they're not giving up on Redfall. This is a game that he knows people are going to be playing potentially 10 years from now if they do subscribe to Game Pass. It is there. It could be a new experience. And that's one of the things with Game Pass. Sure, games have official release dates, but if you are subscribing to Game Pass for the first time, there are a ton of games in there, older games, that you feel like it is a brand new game because it's your first time experiencing it in the subscription service and you're just going through all of the wealth of games that are available to play. At least that's how I play. When I discover something new, I just download it and play it. And I figure out kind of later on, after I've played a bit of it, when this game came out and how old it is, especially if I am enjoying it. I'm kind of looking into the history of the game. So Redfall is going to be big for them to continue to work on. They are going to bring out a 60 FPS patch and stuff, hopefully sometime soon. It's been a couple of months now, and we'll see what they do to improve that game. And maybe this person here is going to be helping with that or whatever else Arcane has in the future. Now, there's this hire here. This is Patrick Sunt, who has joined the initiative as a producer and previously worked at Xbox and Microsoft's mixed reality division, and then Bungie and EA, working obviously on Perfect Dark. The Perfect Dark 2024 is going to be a year where a lot of people are waiting to see more about Perfect Dark. This is one of those games. It's a new Xbox game studio, the game people, IP people love, and it's kind of just sitting there in the unknown as to what we should be expecting from it. We kind of got an idea from the initial trailer going with a brand new reboot, but this is one I think that they have to knock out of the park to show that they can come and make an older game, reboot it, and give us a brand new experience that people love to play. So I really hope Perfect Dark is shown off at the showcase in 2024. I have a feeling that it will be. Hopefully they're much further along in the development of this game. Maybe it's 2025 release. It won't be a 2024 release, but we've got to see more about Perfect Dark in 2024. If we don't, that'll be something that will be disappointing to me, but there's so many other games coming out in 2024 that won't be that huge of a deal. And you can go down here. He's again worked at EA and worked at Bungie, of course, who, as we know, is a first party studio at PlayStation now. So lots of pedigree here and a producer at the initiative. And finally, let's talk about this because it was going to be a fun time with the Tokyo Game Show coming up, and Xbox always having a presence there. Phil Spencer's already come out and talked about being at Tokyo Game Show. We've seen the Tokyo Game Show post from Xbox that they are going to be announcing stuff, new games, new partnerships, stuff coming into Game Pass. It's going to be a great show. I think, at least if you're looking forward to more of the Japanese experiences when it comes to gaming. One of the titles that a lot of people are probably sitting there thinking about when it comes to Tokyo Game Show is going to be Final Fantasy. We saw Final Fantasy 16 skip Xbox. And from what we understand now, with their recent financial reports, with them losing, with their biggest drop in profit in, I think it was the last 3 years, 79% or something like that, and them coming out and saying one of the major reasons why Final Fantasy 16 didn't meet the high end of their expectations was because of the install base of the PlayStation 5. They were still citing the supply issues, but to be honest, when Final Fantasy 16 released, the PS5 was plentiful. People could have gone out and bought a PS5, and I don't think there were that many huge supply issues out there and people not being able to get their hands on the console itself. So, but they were still citing that and saying that that was a reason. Obviously, the overall install base of the PlayStation 5 is far smaller than if they were to have released that game on PC day one, on Xbox day one, on multiple platforms day one. And I think if they were to have done that, they probably would have been closer to that high end of their expectations in terms of sales. And Square Enix is definitely looking at that. They're definitely sitting back when you have a financial report that is as bad as they had recently. They're not going to sit there and try to continue on with the same strategy going forward. That's just nonsense from a business perspective. So they're definitely looking at different ways to try to improve going forward. We already saw Phil Spencer walk out onto the stage with Square Enix and now it's Final Fantasy 14 and say that they're going to continue to work with them for future games coming over to Xbox. The question here is there going to be something big shown off at Tokyo Game Show? This is a rumor here from Kareem Jovian, 68.7 followers on X, digital media producer and interviewer. So I mean, again, take this with an absolute grain of salt. We don't know if any of this is true, but he says here, massive rumor. Been hearing talks about a Final Fantasy and Xbox announcement at the Tokyo Game Show 2023 in September of 2023. What do you guys think it would be? Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Final Fantasy 16, or something else entirely? He says he's banking on Final Fantasy 7 Remake. So that could be the big announcement that they do show off. With Final Fantasy 14 coming over, it would probably make sense at this point if Final Fantasy 7 Remake finally made its way out onto Xbox. It's been a number of years. I feel like the console exclusivity contract is over, and it's just a matter of, I guess, finalizing that port for the Xbox platform and then making that announcement. The other thing you got to keep in mind here is Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 did just get announced, and it is still a console exclusive to the PlayStation 5. But one thing that is different about Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 now is that it has a shorter timed exclusivity. It's seemingly a 3-month timed exclusivity where they're going to be able to release it on PC after. So the exclusivity with PlayStation is starting to shrink, and maybe now is the time Final Fantasy 7 Remake finally gets announced for Xbox, and I think a lot of people will be happy. I mean, I've played through the game. It is a great remake. It is a great game, and if you are a Final Fantasy fan and you're on Xbox, you will definitely want to be checking this one out. This may be something I will even play again on Xbox just to go through it again, maybe get some achievements and stuff like that. But we will see. Tokyo Game Show is around the corner. I'm excited to see what Xbox shows off, and obviously we will be talking about it. But I'm going to end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.